Hello and welcome to lesson 9.1. In this lesson, we are going to look at adding and subtracting polynomials, and we're also going to look at what makes a polynomial and different terminology that goes along with working with polynomials. So today, when we look at our objectives, we're going to concentrate on describing polynomials. We're going to do the addition and subtraction in the part 2 and part 3 videos. So before we get started, you have to understand some terminology when dealing with polynomials. Sometimes you're going to hear the term monomial. Now a monomial, if you look at the prefix, it has the prefix mono right in here. Remember, mono means one or single. So when we see the word monomial in your head, you should think that it's one of something. And in this case, it's an expression that's either a number, a variable, or the product of a number and a variable. So if we look at a few examples, it could be something as simple as the number 3. It could be a single variable, let's say C, or it could be something like the product of one or more variables and numbers. So I could have something like 3x squared. Maybe I do a negative 5x y to the 5th, z to the 2nd. So you can see that it can be something really quite simple or it can be more complex. But the key piece is that it's either going to be a product of some numbers and or variables. It could be a single number or a single variable. Okay, but if you look at any of these terms here, it will never be something that is added or subtracted. Okay, another thing that I want to point out that is not a monomial, okay, so I'm going to write this in big red letters. So this is not an example, would be something like 3 divided by x. Okay, so once we start putting variables in the denominator, okay, kind of like what we have right here, okay, this is no longer a polynomial of any type, or a monomial in this case, okay? So your variable cannot appear in the denominator of a fraction when we're talking about the true definition of a polynomial. Another word that you're going to hear, or phrase rather, is called the degree of a monomial. Now the degree of a monomial is the sum of the exponents of its variables. Okay, so if I have something like 2x squared, okay, it says that it's the sum of the exponents of the variables and it's only on the variables. So in this case, the degree of this monomial is going to be just the variable or the exponent of my variable, which in this case is a 2. Now if I give you something like 3x squared y, okay, now I need to look at the exponents on all of my variables. So here we have a 2, and remember y really has a variable, or sorry, an exponent of 1. So in this case, it's going to be 2 plus 1, which is going to give me a degree of 3. So we'll do one more of those. So if I give you something like negative 5 r squared t to the 6th, we'll say y to the power of 0. Okay, when I go and I look at the degree of this monomial, okay, I'm going to add up the sum of the exponents of the variables only. So in this case, I'm going to look at my 2, my 6, and my 0. So I'm going to add those together. So 2 plus 6 plus 0 gives me 8. So I say the degree of this monomial is 8. The degree of this up here, like we mentioned, was 3. And the degree of this right here is 2. So that was for monomials. Remember, the prefix mono means one. Now when we look at polynomials, okay, which is kind of going to be what we deal with more often than not, okay, the prefix poly, if you don't know, means many. Okay, so a monomial can fall underneath the polynomial category, but a lot of times when we're talking about polynomials, we're talking about more than one term. Okay, so if you look at the definition, it says that a polynomial is either a monomial or the sum or it could be the difference, of two or more monomials. So a polynomial could be something like 2x to the fifth minus 3x squared plus 1. It could be something like a negative 3 plus x minus y. It could be something just as simple as 5. Okay, these are all examples of polynomials. Now, in this case, the number 5 is just a monomial, but it can also be considered a polynomial. But these up here have to be considered polynomials because they have more than one term. So and when we talk about terms, we might as well do that right now too. Terms are all like the pieces. So here I have a term. This right here is a term, and this is a term. So this first example up here has 3 terms, just like my second example down has 3 terms. This number 5 is only 1 term. You will see that when we write polynomials, typically there's a correct way to write them. And I shouldn't say correct, it's a little bit easier and makes it a little more functional for things that we want to do, like when we get into graphing and stuff. So we have what we call the standard form of a polynomial equation. And the standard form of a polynomial is nothing more than taking the degree of the monomial terms and putting them in order of greatest to least. So the exponents are going to decrease as we go from left to right. So if I give you something like, we'll say 5x cubed minus 2x squared plus x minus 1, we say that this is in standard form because if you look at just your exponents, okay, and remember this really has a 1 there, and then I could really even say that this is really like saying x to the power of 0. So if you look at these exponents, I'm going in order from greatest to least as I go from left to right. So I'm going 3, 2, 1, and technically 0. Now the other thing we could do is you don't always have to have a term in the middle. So I could have had something like, we'll say negative 7x to the fifth plus 4. Okay, so here you can see I have my greatest exponent listed first. This 4 here doesn't have an x term because it's a constant. Okay, or if you're a person that likes to have x's there, you could write that as x to the power of 0 if you truly wanted to. So if you do that, you can see that we have our largest exponent here, and we go in order from greatest to least as we go from left to right. So I'm going from an exponent of 5 to an exponent of nothing. So this is what we call standard form. Now, when we do the degree of a polynomial, okay, and again, the degree of a polynomial is so important because when we go to graph, okay, it's going to tell us what our graph is going to look like. Even before you graph it on paper, you should have an idea. It will also tell us things like if our graph is increasing or decreasing or what the end behavior is doing, stuff that we're going to talk about later on. So the degree of a polynomial says that we're going to find the degree of the monomial with the largest exponent, okay? And this is when we are using only one variable polynomials. And what that means is kind of like what I've been doing in the examples up here. Here we've only got x's in this example, and actually in the black example as well, okay? If you have examples where you have like x's and y's together or a's and b's, it's a little bit different. But when you're using the same variable for all of the terms, you find the variable that has the largest exponent, and whatever that largest exponent is, that's the degree of the polynomial. So if I give you something like negative, we'll say 7x to the 6th plus 2x squared minus 5x, okay? Now these are written in order from greatest to least, if you notice. Okay, and again, this is another reason it's nice to write your polynomials in standard form. But when it's written in standard form, I'm going to go and I'm going to look at the exponent, or sorry, the variable that has the largest exponent, which in this case, it's going to be the x to the 6th. So we would say that this is a 6th degree polynomial. Now, as you'll see here in just a second, we do have some names for some common degrees of polynomials. So here is a chart, okay, and it talks about the degrees. Oops, I didn't mean to write that. Okay, so you can see if we have a first degree polynomial, this is going to be a linear function, or when I graph it, it's a straight line. And linear functions typically, or can have up to 2 terms, and we call this a binomial. Okay, if I have a second degree polynomial, okay, second degree polynomials are quadratic. Okay, this is an example of a second degree polynomial. Okay, second degree polynomials can have up to 3 terms, as you see right here, which is why we call these trinomials. Tri meaning having the prefix meaning 3, and it's because there's 3 terms. Just like in the example above, binomials can have 2 terms, and the prefix bi means 2. Okay, now with a cubic function, this is a third degree polynomial. Okay, so here you can see we have our highest degree is raised to the 3rd power. Now a cubic function can have up to 4 terms, okay, but in this example here, it's only got 1 term. Remember, if it has 1 term, then it's considered a monomial. So this is just an example. For our 4th degree polynomials, okay, we don't have any other like neat names like linear, quadratic, cubic, okay? From this point forward, we're just going to call them a 4th degree polynomial, a 5th degree polynomial, and so on. But if we look at this example here, we have 2 terms in our 4th degree polynomial. It's 4th degree because the largest exponent on the 2 variables is a 4. Okay, we have 2 terms, which makes this a binomial. Now, in this case here, this polynomial does not have any variables with it. Okay, so we say that this is a 0 degree polynomial, and you could also call it a constant if you wanted to. Okay, so example 1 says to find the degree of each monomial. So in this case here, for the number 18, we have 1 term, which tells me it's a monomial. Okay, and I have to find the degree. Well, because I have no variables, I know that this is a constant, which means that this is a 0 degree monomial. Now this, for part B, should really have been 3xy to the 3rd. So we'll fix that here real quick. Okay, and for part B, it wants to know the degree of this monomial. Now remember, when we're looking at just monomials, we take the sum of all of the exponents. So x really has an exponent of 1. So when I take my 1 and I add it to my 3, we say that this is a 4th degree monomial. Then for part C, we have 1 variable, which in this case is c. It's really being raised to the 1st power. So I know that this is a 1st degree monomial. For our final example today, this is example 2. It says, write each polynomial in standard form, then name each polynomial based on its degree and the number of its terms. Okay, so when we look at part A says -2 plus 7x. To write this in standard form, we need to have the variable go first. So 2 is a constant. This is a 1st degree polynomial, so I'm going to rearrange this as 7x minus 2. So this is my standard form. Then it says name the polynomial based on its degree. Well, because x is being raised to the 1st power, this is a 1st degree polynomial. And because there are 2 terms, it's also considered a binomial, if I wanted to be specific and not just call it a generic polynomial. For part B, I can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms, But right away, I notice that I have two terms that have the same exponents. So I'm going to simplify those. So I have 3x minus 2x really is going to give me an x to the fifth, because 3 minus 2 is 1, so I get 1x to the fifth. Then I have my 7x term, so that's plus 7x, and then I have minus 2. So this is my polynomial written in standard form, because I have my x to the fifth comes first, I have x to the first, and then I have a constant term or a term with no variables. So this right here, based upon the highest degree or the largest exponent, this here is what we would call a fifth degree polynomial. And then because it has 1, 2, 3 terms, then this is also going to be considered a trinomial for a specific name. So this is going to conclude our examples for today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you so much and have a good day.